Hello YouTube family, this is Jasper or Jacob checking in from my new apartment, which is completely blank walls and it's white and it's really boring, so don't look at those. Completely focus on the hat, which is a bit more me than the rest of this place is. Also, you're going to have to forgive me. I have not had very much nourishment for my brain today, so I'm going to have trouble forming sentences through this. My Subway sandwich is sitting right there, and I wanted to do this before I got out of the mood to do a video. So, today's topic is a bit more of a serious one, but on my way walking back from work, I kind of was thinking about it, and I would much rather you guys learn from my mistakes. Hopefully I can also learn from my own mistakes and be reminded when I rewatch this video later on, so that way nobody else goes through the same problems and find out I did and they're like, hey, well, why didn't Jasper warn us about this? I don't think anyone would actually do that, but in case they do, this video is here to stop any of those complaints from happening. So today's video is on the topic of loving yourself, which is something everybody knows that they should be doing, but little to nobody is actually doing it or has made any attempt to do so. And people react to that people who do not love themselves go about the world in two kind of different ways depending on your personality. Either they go out and try to give all their love to everybody, which is good in a way, but perhaps not the right kind, if that makes sense. As in, they basically will give all their love to people, leave nothing for themselves, and then those people will, I don't want to say get bored, because that's not what it happens, but if you've ever been completely choked out by somebody because they have... Did I just hear Lily? Lily? I did not just hear Lily. Okay, but basically, you get kind of claustrophobic because you feel they're just completely overwhelming you in an abundance of all these touchy-feely stuff, and it's what I do to people, typically, which I need to stop doing. But it's not healthy because it's fun for the person receiving it, for a little while you're giving them all this attention, but in the end they start to realize that you don't actually have any respect for yourself either, so therefore they don't respect you, and eventually they'll stop reciprocating all of those same things back to you. And it's typically a nice guy problem, or a nice girl problem, which those also exist, guys. It is not completely on you. And altogether that ends up ruining the relationship just by itself. And the problem is not loving the other person, you're just loving them in the wrong way. You're coming from a point of... It's not desperation, but weakness, I guess. Because without being able to have any love already grounded in you, not your chest, that's not actually where love is. The heart actually pumps blood to the rest of the body through the... I'm done. But that was a terrible laugh. I completely ignore that ever happened. The other kind is people that will constantly put others down in order to build themselves up. It's like when somebody's drowning and someone comes out to save them and then they grab them by the shoulders and push them down, which in turn does give them air, but for a short amount of time before that person they're drowning loses their buoyancy and then they both drown. And that's an unfortunate problem now, isn't it? So, both of them provide momentary distractions from what the actual problem is, but none of them will actually fix whatever it is that you are looking for, which is love. Everybody's looking for love, whether people will admit it or not. That is a fact. So, I went all this way and I completely forgot what my point was. Here's the point. Facebook recently, especially for me, because I've been feeling the same things, and I'm trying not to be that guy that shares all these cruddy, emotional, feel bad for me things. I don't want to be that guy. I've been that guy before, but I don't want to be him now. And it seems, especially right now, people are like falling out of relationships very quickly, very heavily, and very easily. And most of them start off completely on fire for about a month or 2 weeks or however long it ends up being. And then it crashes and burns. And something that lasts for 2 weeks can leave scars that last for like 6 months to a year. And in the end, I don't see how that is worth it. And the conclusion that I had come to on my own, without the help of my friends, was that the natural, conclusion from those things happening, you're like, well, clearly love does not exist, because none of these people would stay with me when I ended up going through bad times, therefore they didn't actually love me, and that's how I was perceiving it. Or, of course, I'm not going to say that part, but basically, a lot of people probably go through thinking the same things or think they're never going to love again because they've already used up all of their love on someone who didn't end up using it. Both of those are false statements, but both of those are lies that are very easily believed. And misery loves company. And people continue to think those thoughts over and over again because it does give them a feeling. It's not a supposedly good feeling, as people would say a good feeling is, but it gives you something. So you dwell on it, and then eventually it becomes so ingrained in your personality that becomes the only thing that you can think. But without friends, I would have never come to this conclusion. The friends being Zoe, my little sister Sarah, my big sister Lily. Neither of those are blood sisters, but they've been to me. And Eliza. Without any of them, I wouldn't have kind of come to the conclusion that I have, that before I have a bad tendency of wanting to save everybody because I watched tons of superhero movies when I was a kid, and I'm like, well, that person can save people. Clearly, that is also what I am supposed to do, and you can't save a single person, okay? And I don't mean you can't help people, but I am saying saving people is not your job to do. It is their job in order to save themselves from these things. I personally would also say that relies on God. If you don't believe in God, then focus on they need to do it themselves. You can help them in bad situations, but it has to be their choice. You cannot make a choice for somebody else. If you see someone ruining their life, you can point them in the right direction, but you cannot make them take that path. And if you keep thinking that it is your job to save them, and you see them keep doing these destructive things that you know is hurting them, it'll in turn hurt you, which is 2 people hurt instead of just 1. I mean, you can feel remorse, you can feel sympathy for them, but don't put all of your eggs in that one basket. That was not the phrase I was looking for, but basically, it's still on them. It's not your fault if you've tried to save them and it doesn't work. That's happened to me countless times, and I used to think it was my fault. It's not. Okay? You also listen to this. It's not. I am crazy, if you guys didn't already catch that from my review videos. So basically, help people. Don't save them. You men, also women, actually, are not men. Men and women are not meant to be saviors. Okay? That's not what we were ever made to be. We're made to be friends. We're made to assist. You can't go the whole way. The hero's journey doesn't come from people giving you, I mean, they give you boosts, but they're not holding your hand all the way through the journey. The most important parts are when you have to do it alone. And that's when you actually become stronger. And the stronger you get, the better you can assist other people on theirs. But unless you love yourself, you can't do any of those things. And you'll think that you're doing everything selflessly to help those people with absolutely everything you got, but in the end, it will actually make things worse. I promise you, it makes things worse if you do not focus here before you focus out there. In the Bible, it says that take the plank out of your own eye before you remove the splinter from your brother's eye. Whether you believe the Bible or not, that makes perfect sense in this situation. It really does. Because that is a plank. If you don't love yourself, that is a plank. And 98% of people out there have not taken that plank out. And if you're going to go and tell other people how they're supposed to be living, how they should love themselves, or how much you love them, you're basically, you look like a hypocrite. And you are a hypocrite if you are doing that. And you don't mean to be, you do not think you are, but I'm telling you now that's what it is. I am doing these things. I'm trying to not do these things, and it's flipping hard, because if mine comes from like 2 statements I've built my whole personality on when I moved into middle school. They were both terrible, mean statements said to me. They were stupid when you look back at it, but I built my whole personality around those 2 very negative things about me. Therefore, everything about my personality today is based on negativity. And therefore, I need to change that. And a lot of people, I'm going to assume, when middle school hit, had some very mean things said to them. That's not actually who you are. I am telling you, as a person, as a movie, whatever you want me to tell you it as, that you are worth everything in the world that you have ambitions on. You're worth achieving that. And of course, you got to work for it if you want to get there, but you are also worth being loved. But no one will be able to, and the people that leave you, the people that you think did not love you because they did mean things, I mean, I guess if they did mean things, maybe they didn't. But for the most part, if it's a relationship thing, they left you, they're actually doing you a favor. Because the further down the line that would have went, the worse those consequences would have been. Because you completely ignored what was supposed to be done in here first. Those people might have actually loved you. But they couldn't have loved you the way that you wanted to be loved at the time, because that's only a hole that hole cannot be filled by any other person outside of your own body. That's a separate hole. That sounded dirty. Don't take that the wrong way. It's a separate entity. That emptiness inside that most everybody has to be filled by love for yourself. Can't be fixed by any other person, because if you do, then you're going to try and overwhelm them with love, and they will run away to my, where am I pointing? To my kitchen? They'll run away to my kitchen, and you don't want people there. It's a complete mess, and don't look at it. It's really bad. That is pretty much the summation of this video. Love yourselves. I don't even love myself yet. I don't. So I'm being kind of a hypocrite in making this video. But as of right now, I'm going to do my darndest to take steps forward. Don't try. Make sure you do it. Do or do not. There is no try. Make sure you do it, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not like I can say love yourself and you're like, oh, well, there we go. That was easy. Let's move on. Let's go get some chicks, I guess. No, that's not how it works. It is going to take a very long time. Months, could be years. It's not going to be weeks or days or hours. It's not going to be that. It takes a long time. Because all these things we've built up our entire lives, huh? It'll take time, but it's time you've got to put in. And then once you're able to, you can go do the relationship things and they're not going to suck. You're not going to be terrified the person's going to leave you. Because even if they do, that's not, you haven't put all your ducks in all your eggs. You don't put ducks in baskets. If you do, you're weird. Eggs in one basket. So you're not paranoid that they're going to leave. I mean, you'll want them to be there. You will love them. But if they go, it's not the end of the world. Because you've already got your foundation right here. You know, I do love you guys. I love you guys very much. And I really want to see all of you guys achieve whatever it is that you're looking to do. I want you guys to find true love, as they always put it. But most of all, I want you guys to be happy. And I'm not happy yet. I'm in a pretty darn depressed state for the past couple of months, but I'm not going to be there forever. If you're going through the same thing, you won't be there forever. You're going to get through it just like I am. Maybe it'll happen at the same time and we'll be like twins. I don't know. I don't know how the world works yet, but I'm figuring it out as I go. That's what I got to say. I love you all. To all my fellow masochists out there, I will see you next time.